Welcome to Zelda Universe TV, it's Zelda time! Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Zelda News. I'm your host Bastian. Let's get to those top stories. So it turns out we've got like 3 times the amount of Zelda news as we've had in previous weeks, which we had a bit of a drought, so hopefully this makes up for it, but let's try to get through this as fast as we can, because it's a lot. Our first story is about Majora's Mask, handmade actual mask. It's pretty fancy looking. Take a look for yourself. It's also pretty expensive, so I hope you have a giant's wallet. Our next story is about Nintendo of Australia. They've gone ahead and decided to offer up those gold nunchucks that we saw over in Japan. Still don't have them here in the US, but maybe we'll get them at some point. So if you're Australian and you've got those cool Nintendo points saved up, and of course you're a Zelda fan and you want a matching gold nunchuck to your Wiimote, now you can. Our next story is about Zelda dubstep cover. It's not so much about the music itself, but just about the amazing job that they did on the video. I mean, it's basically a laser fight between modern-day Link and a really well-done representation of Ganon. It's pretty awesome, even if you're not a fan of dubstep music. Check this out, though, because it's pretty awesome. I just realized that there's a spider up on the ceiling. Our next story is about the Xbox Live Marketplace. There's a game recently released on that called Fez, and it actually features a little tiny Zelda tribute. If you can't see it, take a look at this famous screen, and I'll take a look back at Fez. So that's pretty awesome that they went ahead and gave a little wink at Zelda. Speaking of original Legend of Zelda, recently a gaming website went ahead and analyzed the old screenshots that we saw of the original Legend of Zelda before it was released, as well as some videos. In that, we can see that there are different styles of blocks. It looks like maybe Gleeok was originally going to drop bombs. Originally, you had the option to choose between the sword or the boomerang, so if you chose the boomerang, you're just going to have to wait until you get the white sword, I guess. Or if you choose the sword, then you don't get the wooden boomerang, and you have to wait to get the magic boomerang later. So that's pretty interesting to see what the original Legend of Zelda was looking like before it was officially done. Our next story is about a glitch found in Ocarina of Time. Now this is astounding because that game has been out for an eternity now, and people are only just now discovering some interesting things in it. And only just now was this new glitch discovered, whereby if you kill Goma at the same time as dying or something, you'll have to watch the video for yourself, it sets into chain a whole series of unusual incidents, which ends up having little young Link with super tall, 7 years older Zelda, and then a weirdness with the Master Sword, Ganondorf dropping dead just spontaneously. Bizarre, you've got to see it for yourself. Our next story is about a Zelda art show called Triforce Tribute. Now, you've heard me mention this before. It's here in my hometown, Portland, Oregon. I went to it on its opening night. I intended to do a big fancy vlog for the Zelda Universe TV channel. That didn't end up happening because what I was going to record it with wasn't working, and then I was going to interview some of the artists, but I didn't have any way of accomplishing that because of some faulty technology, so I went, I enjoyed myself. I didn't share that experience with you guys, I'm sorry, but if you live in the Pacific Northwest, you'll definitely want to go check this thing out. It's only here through the end of April, so you better go fast, but it's amazing. So much great art there. You've just got to see it. Our next story is about an interview with Miyamoto, wherein the interviewer asked him, hey, you said that you kind of wanted to do a Link to the Past remake. Is that still something that you're interested in doing? And Miyamoto said yes. But then he went on to confuse matters by saying he's not exactly sure that he wants to do a remake, but something related to it in that same style, or you'll just have to click on the link and read the story yourself because it's kind of confusing. But what I get from it is that he either wants to do a sequel to A Link to the Past, or he wants to do just another 16-bit style overhead style game, or that maybe he really does want to do A Link to the Past, but with significant upgrades. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure that we are going to have news about something Zelda related at E3. As we get closer to E3, we may even get more news about what that could possibly be. But it sounds like it's going to have something to do with A Link to the Past. Our next story is about a set of Zelda playing cards. This was fan art that somebody had created. They decided to create fancy Zelda playing cards, and then they actually went ahead and produced those, and now those are available to be purchased. They look really good, so you might want to pick yourself up a bag. And the next story is about a mom-and-pop shop, a video game store that they went ahead and decided to set up their storefront to look like 8-bit or 16-bit, I can't quite tell, but retro-styled look. Some Octoroks, very nice. If a store had that kind of thing going on here, that's the only place I'd buy my video games. And then our final story is actually my favorite story, and that's about this thing. It's called Zelda the Musical. It's written and recorded and performed by this guy called Mitch Moffett, and he decided to create, it's kind of like a humor parody summary of Ocarina of Time. It's comedy, it's very, very funny, and besides being really funny, it's also just, it sounds great. He's actually singing the voice of Link himself, and he does a really great job at it. So hopefully we'll see more Zelda-related musicals or videos from him, because this is pretty awesome. It also turns out he kind of gained some internet fame a while back. He was participating in this contest where you had to send a video entry to try to win the greatest job on Earth or something like that, which was as a tour guide in Australia. And his video entry, again, musical-oriented, he wrote this hilarious, funny musical number about why he was the perfect candidate. And unfortunately he didn't win, but when he didn't win, he then made a sequel, which was even bigger, more hilarious. He's just a super talented guy, and he also recently released an album. You can find a link to that in the description down below, but be sure to check out this video. It's great. So that's it for this week in Zelda news. Be sure to check out this week's Games Like Zelda video. It's about one of my favorite games of all time. You'll love it if you haven't already played it, and see you then, guys. Bye. I forgot my watch, and just realized right when I hit record. Our next story is about Xbox Live Marketplace. I don't know what that thing is called on the Xbox. So that's it for this week of Games Like Zelda.